But my phone died, and I was actually talking about it being chilly at night. And so now it's getting chilly. And somebody that's living in their homes that don't get up until like the sun starts to warm the earth off, you would never know. But the people that are homeless and they're out here in the streets or living in their cars, they can tell that it's getting chilly out here at night. And maybe like last week when I was sleeping in my car and it was like hot, like 90 degrees in my car at night, it would be hot. But now all of a sudden it's starting to cool off. So I think that fall weather is starting to come in. It's almost September. So yeah, it's going to start getting cold in my car. So I have to make a decision to see if I'm going to see about trying to get into a shelter. I am off tomorrow, so that can be something that I can do. Go down to the shelter. It's a shelter in this city that is kind of sketchy, right? It's a sketchy city, but if I need to go there and get shelter, I'm going to have to just go there and get shelter until I can't no more, right? I don't really want to go to this city because it's a dangerous city. But shelters are mainly in cities because that's where most people are homeless, in cities. But you got people in the suburbs that are homeless out in the country, in the woods, in the sticks, or whatever you want to say it. But yeah, I'm gonna see about the shelter because I hate the cold. I don't like winter. I don't like when it starts to get cold. It's comfortable in the car because I do have my blankets, but I really need to go get another blanket now. Like, I need another blanket because, girl, it's chilly now. Like, I got my sweater on, and usually if I work out, I'm working out with like a tank top on. So, yeah, I haven't been to this park in a while. My phone is filled with stuff. I need to probably reset the phone. But when you do social media, YouTube, TikTok, or whatever, it's going to take up a lot of space. Especially when you're on the road like me. When you're on the road like me, you can't really carry cameras and all that stuff because you don't have space for it, right? I don't have a place for all that stuff. And I don't have a place for my laptop. And that's another reason why I want to get settled inside my apartment so I can get my social media, like, studio set up in my office area where I could just, sit down and edit my videos and be comfortable. And man, I miss my apartment. I had a situation in my apartment. There was mold in my apartment, right? Me and my kids had mold allergies. It was mold in there. The apartment was nice, but behind those walls, it wasn't so nice. So I had to go. I had to get out of the apartment because there was mold in there. But me and my landlord had gotten into something, and I got myself in trouble. So, because I kind of reacted in a bad way. So, that's the future. That's the past. Not the future, but that's the past. So, I'm over that now. But I do miss the apartment. / if the mold wasn't there, I'd still be living there. Because it was nice. It was pretty big. It was comfortable for me and my kids. But I'm going to get it all back. It's some days I wake up and I'm like, oh my God. I feel so like helpless sometimes. Like, oh my God, am I ever going to get over this crap? Is this ever going to heal? Yeah, it's going to heal. Even though we live in a world right now where everything is messed up for a lot of people. A lot of people are homeless. We just got to keep going. We just have to keep going and not giving up. No matter how hard it seems. No matter how messed up I may feel, or if I feel alone, and I feel very lonely out here with just not having like my family support and not having my teenagers around and stuff like that. I just feel hopeless, And it's like when you're in the worst seasons and times of your life, it's like you don't have anybody, I mean, the people that got the supportive family, be thankful. If you got the support from your family, you have that love from them and they're helping you, be grateful. Don't mess that up. Because a lot of people have opened doors to me. I stayed with a roommate. I stayed with a family member. And just over time, they just don't want you there anymore. You do what you can do in the household. You pay the rent and you try to help keep it clean. You take out the trash. But a lot of the times, no one gives a crap about what you do. When they don't want you in their house no more, they're going to do whatever they can do to put you out. You don't bring someone into your space. And then when you get tired, you start talking about them. Because I was staying with my niece. She was just doing me so dirty, man. When you are helpless and you don't have anywhere else to go, sometimes even your family members will start doing stuff to mess with you. Like, I already knew they was talking about me. I knew when she would get in her car and leave, she would talk about me to the people at her job. She would talk about me like a dog to her kids. Like, my niece would be so petty that she would talk trash about me to her children. And her kids are now like tweens. They like 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. But she would talk bad about me to her kids, right? So one of her kids, her oldest daughter, which I couldn't stand her oldest daughter would come downstairs and just walk right past me, like not even speak to me. And I'm just like saying about my niece, I'm like, sis, you asked me to come to your house. I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you to come here. You offered, you opened your door to me. And of course you took the rent for sure. You took the rent and you let me come into your house because you act like you cared so much, right? But then when I come in, she started acting funny. I think like maybe 2-3 weeks into it. It could have been sooner than that. She just started acting funny. She just started giving me attitude like she kind of didn't want me there. And you know, when you live in someone's house, you can kind of get the vibes of them not really wanting you to be there anymore. You get the vibes. You can get the gist of someone that don't want you. Like a relationship. Like if you with a man or a man is with a woman and she's not answering your phone calls, she's kind of being, you know, real short with you. You kind of know that your time has, you know, this is over. You know what I mean? You can kind of feel the vibes of it being over. You can kind of feel the vibes of this relationship has ran its course. You can see that, but some people still stay. So that's what happened with my niece. Like, I could tell that she was talking about me to her kids because her oldest daughter would come downstairs. And mind you, I was in her living room. If you don't want somebody in your living room area, don't bring somebody to your house. Like, I didn't ask you, could I come stay with you? I didn't beg and say, hey, can I stay with you? I don't have anywhere to go. Girl, I'd have been fine in my car. But she opened up her doors to me. And I was like, when I had got evicted, right? Because you know, eviction can take like 3 months. So she was telling me to come before the eviction. She was like, oh, well, you know what? You just need to come here. You just need to come now. I said, no, I'm gonna let it wait. I'm gonna hold it out until like the last minute. When they put that thing on my door and I got like 3 days to leave, I'm gonna leave on the second day. Because I know they're gonna evict you. You get evicted on like business days. You don't get evicted on the weekends or whatever because they don't work on the weekend. So that's what I told her. I said, no, I never pressured the issue. But she was trying to act like she cared so much and she wanted me to come before the eviction. And then I go stay with her. I think I stayed with her until May of last year. I think I stayed with her from like January all the way up until like May. I stayed with her a few months, right? So I'm giving her money. I'm giving her money for rent. I gave her $600 a month. That's all she asked for. She asked for $600. I gave her $600. And this is every month. And I would do stuff like get paper towels for the house. Because I'm in there too with my kids. With my 2 kids, I'm in there. But you don't invite somebody in your house that you know that you don't want there. Don't invite them in. Stop inviting people in that you know you don't want them there. If you know that you like to live by yourself, stay that way. Because somebody like me says, I'm going to always be okay. I'm going to always be okay. God always has a plan for me, man. I'm not going to ever be out here stuck out here like with my tail between my legs. God going to provide. Because why? Because I'm a good person. And then sometimes I feel like good people always fail or whatever. But no, I'm not leaning on that analogy. God has got me. God has always got me. So when she moved me in, I think I was there for a week or 2. I just started to notice that she was acting funny. She was just giving attitude like she didn't really want me there. So I'm feeling some kind of way. You know, I feel some kind of way because I feel your energy. But the way she did it was fucked up. So I was there for months. So at the time, I guess she couldn't take it no more. She was like, I came home from work one night and it was like 11 o'clock at night. And she was like, she knocked on the bathroom door. I'm literally sitting on the toilet in the bathroom. She knocks all crazy and loud like she the police. So I'm like, huh? I'm sitting on the toilet. She was like, you gotta go. You gotta go tonight. Mind you, it's 11 o'clock at night. And I had my daughter. At the time, my daughter was 12 years old. So she knocking on the door all ghetto and crazy. Oh, you gotta go. I can't put up with this no more or whatever. So I'm like, what do you mean go? So I'm like, I'm not going any fucking where. It's 11 o'clock at night. Where do you think me and my daughter is going in the middle of the night? Nowhere. So we have arguments. We start arguing a little bit about this, about that. I'm taking up for myself. I'm not going to sit here and let you scream in my face. So I said, I ain't going nowhere. So she called the police. She calls the police, telling the cops, oh, I want her out of here. She needs to go, this and that. She telling the cops all this stuff that they really don't want to hear. So they basically telling her, that she doesn't have to go anywhere because, number one, it's the middle of the night. Number two, she has a kid with her. And number three, we're not the eviction police. We don't evict people. So I end up staying. I stayed there for, I think, maybe another 2 weeks. because she couldn't really put me out. She would have to go down to the courthouse and evict me out. So I'm still living there. Like, I still have a key. I'm still getting in, because if I would have went there and she would have locked the keys, she would have locked me out. I would have had to, call the police and get the cops to let me in, because you can't lock somebody out your house. I live here now. That's the thing. When you bring people into your house, just make sure you watch out, because you can't just evict them like that. You can't put them out in the middle of the night. Some people that don't know law, they'll just leave. But I said, the fact that I had my daughter with me, I couldn't leave. And mind you, she did all of this in front of my kid. Like, she did all of this in front of my kid. My daughter is listening to all of this. And I'm just like, wow, you talk that way in front of kids? Like, you talk that way in front of your children? Number one, if you have a problem with me and I'm an adult and you're an adult, you always go to the adult and let's talk about this in private. Come on, let's go outside and talk about this. You don't try to blast me. And that's what she did. She did all of this in front of her kids. I guess she wanted to be tough ass. But this was my niece. This was my niece. This was somebody that I cared about throughout the years. She was more than a niece to me. She was more like a niece friend. She was like a best buddy, We talked about our problems. We talked about things that we were going through. We talked about our, financial woes and stuff like that. But she didn't care. You did all this stuff in front of your kids. So now you're putting out the energy to your kids to let them know, hey, when somebody pisses you off, this is how you could treat them. And not treat them like they're a human. You could treat them like they're crap. Because that's what she did to me. So I'm like, yo, this is what you do to your kids, sis? I'm like, damn, how messed up is that? You teaching your kids to be ghetto and ratchet just like you. And I was like, that's not cool. But I think after 2 weeks, I left. Because I said, I'm not leaving until the 1st, because I paid rent. So I'm not leaving. So the whole time, she in there got an attitude or whatever. She's showing an attitude. We just ignoring each other at this point. But I said, bitch, I'm not going no fucking where. Then she gonna sit there and threaten to beat me up. She threatens me, threatens to fight me, all this stuff. So I said, bitch, fuck you. So after 2 weeks, I left. So I left my stuff inside her apartment. I left, not everything. I took everything out. And mind you, I'm moving all this stuff inside one of my cars that was literally like a bucket. I had a terrible car that I just needed a new car. So I have an oil leak really bad. It's out in the middle of the summer. It's May. It's hot as heck outside. So I'm trying to pack my stuff into the car, the stuff that I need. Like our clothes, our blankets, or whatever. So I'm packing all my stuff into the car. Damn near in tears, like telling me and my daughter, like, oh my God, we're going to be okay though. So I'm moving left to right, back and forth with that. So I'm like pissed off. Like, I can't believe this heifer did this to me. You know what I mean? And I actually really did it to myself. Because I'm an adult. You know what I'm saying? Never lived with nobody. Like, even now, like, I think if a family member said, hey, you can come stay with me. No, I don't want to live with nobody no more. I don't want to live with nobody, bitch. I'll live in my car until I can get myself together, because I don't want to live with nobody. Because it's always a freaking nightmare. It's always a nightmare. And I know some people say, well, what did you do? I was good. I was a good tenant. I didn't do anything that I wasn't supposed to do. I went to work every single day. I paid rent. I made my food for my kids. I didn't eat up her stuff, but she was always saying stuff like, your daughter's using my stuff. Like, she was so petty. She used to be so petty. And this is why I know now, like, you can't keep a man. You can't get a man. You can't, because no man wants to deal with your shit. No man wants to be nagged. Because if you're doing it to me, I can only imagine how you're treating a man. She wants a man. Every woman wants to be loved and cared for and stuff like that. But men, they don't want no woman that's going to be nagging them, crying about this, crying about that. When the man comes into your life and you got your kids, he going to start complaining about what your kid did, and you going to take up for the kids. As you should take up for your children, especially if somebody's doing something wrong to your child. But you are never going to keep a man in your life because you're such a naggy bitch. You nag and bitch about every fucking thing. I'm not even your man. I'm your aunt, actually. And all you did was complain and cry about every little fucking thing. Oh, your daughter's using my soap. Mind you, I make handmade soap for a living. That's what I do. That's one of my businesses that I have. I'm not making it now because I don't have a residence. But I make my own handmade soap. Before I got evicted out of my house, I had handmade soap that I made. I had a bulk of soap that I'm just using now. Thank God I made it. Because I knew I was getting evicted. So I'm like, let me make enough soap. Because we about to hit the streets, right? So I want to make sure that we have what we need as far as to wash our bodies. and stuff like that. I always prepare. I said, why would I use the soap that you have, like the body wash that you have in your shower? Why would I use that? I don't use that. I use my own soap. I make my own stuff. She always, like, even when I started my business, when I started my soap business, she acted like she was so gung-ho, right? So she would support me. She would buy the soap and the lotion from me. And then all of a sudden she would stop buying it from me. And then when I moved in with her, I noticed that she would buy soap from like this other soap brand. It's like major soap brand that's in the stores, Dr. Bronner's. She started buying his bars. Instead of buying soap from me, she'll buy it from this big brand. So I'm like, damn, okay, you stop buying my stuff and you start using this. Like, don't support me, don't support my business because you feel sorry for me. Like, I'm going to make it regardless, baby. I'm going to start my soap business again. As soon as I touch down and as soon as I get an address, baby, it's on and popping. So yeah, so she would buy my soap, she would buy my lotion and say how good it was. And then all of a sudden she would stop buying it. So then I would go into her house when I lived there and I say, oh, she's buying soap from somewhere else. She goes into these natural handmade stores and buys stuff from these other soap brands that's supposed to be more on the natural side. So she likes that stuff better than mine, and that's fine. But don't act like you supporting me, then you start buying soap from someone else. Like, I don't understand that. But that's okay. I ain't say nothing to her. I just let it ride. But sometimes your family can be the biggest people to try to be out here to destroy you. You got to watch out for them. So that's the story, because people was asking me. That's the story, kind of how it happened with me and my niece. She threatened to beat me up. She called the cops on me. I didn't get evicted out of it. Like, the cops didn't tell me to leave. But this was literally 11 o'clock at night. I'm getting off work. I'm working every day, working and being homeless. Your family will act like they care, but then they start using you for, like, I got power over her now because, she don't have nothing anyway. She ain't got nowhere to go. But she regretted having me in her house. So she found all kind of ways to get me out. But I'm not going to leave so easily. I'm not going to leave that easy. Now, if I had somewhere to go, it'd be different. At the time, I didn't have my car that I have now. I didn't have the car I have now, but she wanted me out after a while. And the ratchet stuff she used to do, she would talk about me to her kids. And her kids are like teenagers. Her oldest daughter, I think, was like 16, 17 years old. So she would talk about me to her. So her daughter would come downstairs in the morning and be so disrespectful. She would walk past me and not even say, good morning, Aunt Gina. She would not say nothing to me. That's how I knew that they was talking about me. And I said, that's a shame. You can't really be a woman and be a woman about yourself. And if you have a problem with me, you say, hey, Gina, we need to go outside and have a talk. I need to talk to you in private. Let's not get the kids involved in this. But she wants people involved in her drama because she knows she's wrong. She knows she's wrong. So she wants as many people that's in her immediate family to be on her side.